So Memorial Day officially kicks off boating season, but before you head out onto the water, you want to make sure you're safe. Joining me now is Lieutenant Jeff Janaro from the U.S. Coast Guard. Welcome to the show, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
So Boating Safety Week is the 18th through the 24th.
Correct.
What's that all about?
Well, Boating Safety Week is a national effort just to bring boating safety awareness to people, to your audience. Mm-hmm. And it's a good time before the boating season really kicks off to just remind people of all those safety tips and the things that you should be doing that will really prevent
Take
accidents and
precautions, right?
You bet.
Lieutenant, tell me the role of the Coast Guard around Long Island Sound.
Well, most people know the Coast Guard in Long Island for search and rescue, but there's a lot more to it than just doing search and rescue. We have about 800 active duty and reserve members in Connecticut and on Long Island that oversee the Long Island Sound body of water. And in addition to search and rescue, we're doing environmental protection, pollution response, ports and waterways security. We inspect all the passenger vessels, and we inspect those big container ships that are bringing fuel and different products into New Haven and New London and Stamford. And that's a real big driver for the economy, making sure those vessels are able to get in and out. And part of getting them in and out of the port safely is also maintaining the aids to navigation system on Long Island and in these ports and waterways.
So you guys are busy.
We're very busy.
Let's talk about Life Vest, because if you're going to be on the boat, everyone needs one.
You got it.
All right.
It's, we can't stress enough the importance and the value of wearing a life jacket. Of the unfortunate 650 plus deaths nationally with recreational boating last year, about 85% of the people that drowned were not wearing life jackets. So you can really see the value in wearing a life jacket and how it can really be a practical way to save your life. We have two different types here. One, and this is a children's size life jacket, so I wanted to show it to say, they come in all shapes and sizes,
Sure.
So it doesn't matter what your body type is or how young you may be. There's a life jacket for you. This is one style that has a little bit of padding. I also brought another style that might be for people that want to do board sports or might be doing water skiing or things like that. They want to have a little bit more movement, and this actually has a CO2 cartridge in it that will inflate.
Oh.
It'll inflate the life jacket automatically if this touches the water, and there's also a manual way to inflate this life jacket. So it gives people a little bit more
you can move around, sure, that makes sense. Now let me ask you, if there's a fine associated with not having life vests on the boat?
Yes.
You can get in trouble for this.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, let's go along and take a look at some of our pictures, because you brought some that really indicate it's important to know your surroundings.
Yes, absolutely. So this is Sandy Point right here in New Haven Harbor. And what I want to stress here is that you can see to the right of that green marker, and that marker has a light on it that at night would be flashing a light to indicate that there's something around there. But to the right of that, you don't see many rocks. And now when you look at the next picture, you'll be able to see at low tide.
There are a lot of rocks.
There's a lot of rocks there, and it's very dangerous. So that's the difference between high tide and low tide, and how if you're not familiar with your waterways, or if you're not familiar with looking at a nautical chart, you could find yourself in a bad predicament.
Got it. All right, and the next picture shows...
Okay, and this is over in Branford Harbor. And this is once again low tide, so you see more of these rocks. These are called the Mermaid Rocks in Branford Harbor. And then at high tide, it's a much different picture.
Wow, sure is. Okay, and then we have one other picture of the red buoy there.
Yep, so this is called the Cow and Calf Rock, and this is again off of Branford. So we have a red buoy there, and the reason why I want to show this picture is that if you're not familiar with what the aids to navigation system is, and if you don't know what that buoy means or what it signifies, and if you haven't looked at a chart, you might not know whether you're supposed to go on the left side of that buoy or on the right side. And you can see if you choose the wrong side, there can be dangerous consequences. Those rocks in particular, you see how green they are.
Right.
At high tide, those rocks are pretty much always fully submerged, so you wouldn't even see them.
Well, let's talk about safe boating classes, because everyone's supposed to do that. They're supposed to have a license. It's required.
Correct.
And you could do that at a young age, I think.
Yeah, you can start very early. The courses are offered through power squadrons, through the Coast Guard Auxiliary. There's a number of mediums to get boating courses. The state of Connecticut offers safe boating courses. And when you get a license or a boating certificate that you get from these courses, they're good in just about every single state. So if you move, if you're in different bodies of water,
you got it.
It's a good thing to have.
Now, another one we should talk about, because some people think they go hand in hand, alcohol and boating. It shouldn't, but a lot of people do.
Correct.
And it's enforced.
Absolutely. It's enforced just like the alcohol laws are when you're on the roads. And I think people associate being out on the water with being relaxed. And
Sure.
Don't get me wrong, being out on a boat is a great way to relax. But you have to be mindful that there are consequences and you're still operating a motor vehicle. The same rules apply for the alcohol limits. and you have people's lives that you're responsible for, maybe on your own vessel or the lives of the boaters around you. So that relaxed environment out on the water, you can't mistake that for relaxed alcohol regulations.
Sure, so you would get a boating while intoxicated charge, and that actually could affect your driving a car.
It can affect your ability.
Definitely repercussions there. And lastly, Lieutenant Jeff, you say if you see something, say something.
Correct. So the Coast Guard's part of the Department of Homeland Security, and we work very closely with our partners there, as well as the Department of Transportation. So when you're in an airport or at a train station, you see those signs. If you see something, say something. They're all over the place. But it's important to remember that it's not just in train stations or airports where it's important to have a little bit of situational awareness. So if you're at a ferry terminal or if you're at your local marina and there's something that's suspicious, it's very important you can call 911 or you can call the Coast Guard directly.
Just be aware. All right, Lieutenant Jeff, we're out of time. Thank you so much for all the tips.
Thanks for having me.
All right, coming up next, we'll tell you about an award event for those in high school theater. That's when Style returns. We'll be right back.